Today, we are diving into one of the most intense and honestly timeless stories of family drama ever told. It's a tale of favoritism, of incredible deception, and a birthright that was stolen through sheer cunning. This isn't just some ancient text. It's basically a psychological thriller about what happens when a family completely breaks down.
So, let's get right into it. At its absolute core, this is a story about a deeply dysfunctional family. You've got parents playing favorites, which, as we know, is a recipe for disaster. It creates this rift that turns normal sibling rivalry into something way, way more dangerous. It's a raw, messy look at how one single act of deception can just shatter everybody's lives. And it all kicks off with a father's final wish. So these are the words of the family patriarch, Isaac. He's old, he's frail, his eyes are so dim he can't see anywhere, and he has this feeling that he doesn't have much time left. This sense of urgency, well, it's the spark that's about to light the whole fire. He believes he has one last, incredibly important duty to perform, something that will set the course for his family's legacy for generations. So, what is this crucial final task? It all starts with something that sounds pretty simple, a request for his favorite meal. But you have to understand, this is not just about food. This one fateful request is going to trigger a chain reaction of betrayal that will tear his family completely apart.
All right, so first, let's meet the players. You've got Isaac, the blind father. Then there's his wife, Rebecca, who is, well, very calculating. And they have twin sons, Esau and Jacob. Now, here's the real problem. The household is totally divided. Isaac adores Esau, the rugged, hairy, outdoorsy son. But Rebecca's favorite is Jacob, the quieter, smooth man who stays close to home. This favoritism is basically a fault line running right through the family, creating two competing teams under one roof.
So Isaac calls for his favorite son, Esau, and asks him to go hunt and prepare this special meal. And in return, he says he'll give him the blessing. Now, this is the key. In their culture, this wasn't just a father saying some nice words. The patriarchal blessing was a binding, almost magical prophetic act. It literally transferred authority, the inheritance, the entire family destiny. It was a one-time only, irreversible deal. But someone else is listening. From the shadows. And this is the moment the story pivots. It goes from a family tradition to a high-stakes conspiracy, all orchestrated by a brilliant, cunning mastermind. And here it is, the turning point. Rebecca overhears her husband's plan to bless Esau. But instead of just accepting it, she immediately decides she's going to intervene. She's going to steal that blessing for her favorite son, Jacob. And she doesn't hesitate for a single second. She immediately lays out this clear four-step plan for Jacob. It's like a heist. She says, I'll handle the food. I'll make it taste exactly like Esau's. All you have to do is put on a disguise, walk in there, and lie to your blind father. It is audacious, it's calculated, and it is incredibly risky. But there is a huge, huge problem. One that could blow the whole thing wide open. Isaac might be blind, but he can still feel. And Esau, the hunter, is famously a hairy man. Jacob, on the other hand, is a smooth-skinned man. It's a dead giveaway. And Jacob, to his credit, sees the flaw right away. He's terrified. He knows that if he gets caught, he won't just miss out on the blessing, he could actually get a curse from his father. And a curse would be just as permanent and just as binding. This isn't just about disappointment. This is about total ruin. But Rebecca is absolutely relentless. She brushes off his fears. She tells Jacob not to worry, saying, "Upon me be thy curse." Think about that. She is so determined to see this through that she is willing to take any divine punishment for this lie onto herself. It is an incredible, almost chilling display of resolve. So Rebecca puts together this really detailed, multi-sensory disguise. First, she puts Esau's clothes on Jacob, so he smells like the outdoors, like his brother. And then she takes the hairy skins from the goats she just cooked and covers Jacob's smooth hands and neck. She is trying to fool every sense her husband has left: taste, smell, and touch. So the stage is set. Jacob, all disguised and carrying the meal, goes in to face his blind father. And what happens next is the climax of the whole story, a scene just filled with unbearable tension, where literally everything is hanging in the balance. And right away, Isaac is suspicious. He hears his son speak and says, the voice, it's Jacob's voice, but the hands, they feel like the hands of Esau. He is so close to figuring it out. You can just imagine the tension in that room as he's touching the goat skins, completely baffled by this contradiction.
Isaac gives him one last chance to back out, one last chance to tell the truth. He asks him point blank, "Are you really my son Esau?" And this is the point of no return. Jacob looks his blind father in the face and tells the lie that changes everything. "I am." And Isaac, fooled by the disguise and the lie, gives him the blessing. And it is huge. He gives Jacob prosperity, plenty of food and wine. He gives him political power, dominion over nations, and most devastatingly, authority over his own brother. Jacob has just won everything. But the story is far from over. The deception worked, but now the consequences are about to come crashing down. The family absolutely implodes as the fallout from this betrayal is revealed. Oh, the timing here is just brutal. The text says Jacob had scarce gone out from his father's tent when Esau walks in, fresh from his hunt, carrying the very meal his father had asked for. Jacob got away by mere moments. When Esau finds out what happened, his reaction is just pure, gut-wrenching agony. The text describes a great and exceeding bitter cry. This isn't just anger, it's the sound of a man whose entire future, his identity, his birthright, has just been ripped away from him. His plea is absolutely heartbreaking. And Isaac confirms the terrible truth. He says, "Your brother came with subtlety, with cunning and deception, and has taken your blessing. And because a blessing, once it's given, is irreversible, there is nothing he can do. The theft is complete. It's permanent." Esau's grief very quickly curdles into a murderous rage. He makes a vow. He says, "As soon as my father is dead and we're done mourning, I will hunt down and I will kill my brother Jacob." The family betrayal has now escalated to a vow of fratricide. And the irony here is just crushing. Rebecca, the mastermind who orchestrated this whole thing to put her favorite son on top, now has to tell that son to run for his life. She has to send him into exile to save him from being murdered by the very brother he just cheated. Jacob, the new patriarch, is now a fugitive. It all came down to this. Just one lie. A single act of deception, born from years of simmering favoritism and a mother's fierce ambition. And it was enough to completely dismantle a family, turning brother against brother and sending a son into exile. And that really leaves us with a central question of this entire story, doesn't it? Because there are no simple heroes or villains here. So who's most responsible for this tragedy? Is it Isaac for creating that toxic environment of favoritism to begin with? Is it Rebecca, the mastermind behind the whole plot? Or is it Jacob, the one who actually told the lie and took the prize? It's definitely something to think about.